Okay, so I was speaking, but my mic was still muted. You didn't miss out on anything. I was just talking about what I was eating and whether or not we should play with 5 or whatever. Let's see. Aluminum, lots of high waters. And some silicon, tiny bits of iron. Iron triangle. We could go scientific here. What's the aluminum looking like? The aluminum is looking pretty poor. Alright, let's go scientific then. We don't want to wait forever. Well, alright, so someone beat us to that spot. That's the spot I was eyeing for a triangle. Okay, this is a little better, but where's the nearby aluminum? We should just jump on that right now as maybe expansive. I think expansive wouldn't be bad either. Okay, let's drop expansive right there. Mine. Do I have better aluminum? No, I don't. Right there, that's way better. Mine and mine. Or even, yeah, double aluminum. The higher iron would be fine, but we already claimed the high iron right next to our base. So we'll take the mixed tile. That's where all the iron ended up being, way over to the right. We totally scouted in the wrong direction. Okay, so we were slow on the sale. Since I was busy talking to myself, we can pick up the cheap claim here, and let's do exactly that. So do I want to drop another mine or go right into steel mills? Let's drop the steel mill over here. Sure, it would give us the option of switching over to iron later if for some strange reason it becomes really valuable, which I don't actually anticipate happening. Okay, upgrade. We need steel and aluminum. These guys will ship that in ever so slowly.
5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000.
Up to 9,000. And what else do we need? Well, we've got another claim. I guess another steel mill then. Barely making any money. The shipments here, especially the aluminum, will get us that much closer to the upgrade. Closer still. And we are on top of dry ice, so we do have the option of dropping some dry ice condensers, which will be kind of fun. I don't think I've built them out in quite a while, if I ever have. Or I guess the better way to phrase that is I can't remember the last time I built a dry ice condenser. Still, should we get a triangle going? I think we really should. So one here, and then getting into power would be good. Or even food right now. We could try the early food again. The price of glass though makes that rather prohibitive. Yeah, I think power is going to be better for us. We do have a lot of steel coming in. This geotherm is closer. So that's going to slow our upgrade. Reactors, water, definitely some water. Let's take some of these high waters here. And maybe a water right there as well. Okay, so one more claim. We could do a reactor because glass is super expensive. Goon squad. Fine, we'll grab a goon squad. And how much is it going to cost for me to push out a farm? 1,700. And were we beaten to... We were beaten to the high water, and we ended up getting this low water instead. That's really too bad. Right. So that pump could be making us 57 per turn. So we'll just go and grab the other high water with no potential for adjacency bonus instead. And we can drop a goon squad on our geothermal. In fact, we can rustle up the cash. I would be very happy to grab a mutiny and steal someone else's geothermal here. Could steal some water, some aluminum, not the most exciting. Keep an eye on that goon squad price.
Pirates. I hate those filthy bandits.
See what people are doing for power. Alright, so we'll grab... Okay, we have to sell some more stuff down here. Water. Grab the mutiny. Mutiny that power. Making good money off the power there. And now we need to buy up some glass. And we're halfway there, or we only need 11 more. So, sell. For that, our steel requirements, we can sell down 30 of that. Glass is getting ever more expensive.
Scientific colony expanded.
Alright, we're almost there. Upgrade now and get into glass. So all of our aluminum is being pirated, which is definitely painful. Let's see. Silicon quarry, reactors, more farms. Price of glass is pretty painful here. Let's see, is anyone else into glass yet? No, they aren't. So if we can get into glass now, that could be quite profitable for us. We need 510, sell down. We're eating all of our food, sell down. Nothing that we have is making us money. Let's see. I really want to build out some of this glass before anyone else does. We need some way to raise some silicon. Okay, fine. We'll get a quarry going there. There's a medium, but it's pretty far away. So we'll get that quarry going. Sell down all of this water. Sell down all of that iron. Build out a couple glass over here. 600 some odd. Okay. Now, while I was doing all that waiting, did that leave my opponent's time to get glass up before me? No, okay, so we should be online to make some good money off of that. 56 off of the food versus 48.
New land is available for auction. Bidding will begin at
It's a good tile, especially for a scientific player. That would be really nice for an electronics plant. We'll be sure to make sure the scientific players pay good money for that. 10,000, but that'll probably be as far as I can go. The prices of aluminum and iron, well, I guess we could turn it into a silicon quarry. Alright, 14,000 is going to be my max here. Now my question is, do I want to build out a farm or another glass plant? It's going to be another glass plant. And oh, we did win that auction, strangely enough. Okay, our steel mills are losing us money right now, but that's okay, as long as we don't lose a lot of money. Let's drop another quarry up here. These guys are auto-supplying. -7. Okay, we have enough steel for the upgrade. Let's turn that off for now. There's a glass surplus coming through, natural, and these guys need money to be supplied. Price of glass is going down, which does mean we'll be able to upgrade sooner. So there's that.
Worker morale is at an all-time
Upgrade,
high.
and
Structured
super cheap glass means super cheap farms.
More industries
Let's
operate in
see.
no time.
And have all the geothermal spots been taken? Yes, it would appear so. Need silicon, we need to free up some more money. These guys are still profitable, so we'll sell down the iron, a little of the steel. Sure, we can sell down the glass too. Grab another mutiny. And who thinks that that geothermal is now protected? Mutiny that. Alright, good, so almost $200 a second off of that. Someone blew up water in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so we have 3 tiles left to play with. Looks like more farms are definitely going to be welcome. Yeah, we'll just go really hard into farms here. Let's see, sell down a little more steel, drop a farm there, and then we're going to want another goon squad. They decided to go after our glass rather than our food, which I'm glad for.
The black market is online.
Goon squad there.
A new land is available.
Definitely want to bid on this auction.
Begin at
1,000,
And, well,
6,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, 12.
good money to be had off food. We're going to need some more water pumps. People are buying into my stock. I'll buy a couple more there.
sold.
We could have bid that up a little more. And we probably should have. Okay, so it looks like these farms need to turn off. Except for the center one who has a nice bonus. Okay, do I want to switch these guys over to dry ice condensers? That would get me oxygen and carbon, which would be better than what I'm currently making. Nanotech would be really nice too, to get all that glass back. 31, 34, 56. Try to pick up a claim. Claim into patent lab. It would slow our expansion down. What are we waiting on? A little steel, a little glass.
The black market
Glass is worth
online.
a lot. Okay, fine. Let's grab that, drop another glass plant, and then do I want to swap these guys out?
Colony expanded.
Turn them back on. Sell on the water, and we need more water pumps. So that'll be the upgrade, and then we'll go across the map for water, and then maybe drop a patent lab. No one, well, Lunarian has a patent lab app, but they haven't researched anything yet. Okay, so how close are we? We're almost there. We've got the glass, we just need the steel. Upgrade.
Is at an all-time
Screw with
high,
us.
thanks
And
to
we
the
screw with
infrastructure.
you.
Water pump, water pump.
Improved. We'll be
And
able to export industries off Earth in
let's
no
see, good money off of glass. These guys need water, which we can sell down. All this stuff, and maybe switch these guys over to something else. Okay, well, I definitely want a patent lab going. And while we're here, let's buy up some of the chemicals that we'll need.
The black market is
There's a
online.
power surge coming through. Perhaps some wind then.
Scientific colony expanded.
3,000. All the geothermals are taken. Sell down a bunch of the glass.
New land is available for auction. Bidding will begin at
And
5,000, 6,000.
iron's worth a reasonable amount. That's definitely worth bidding on.
sold.
Okay, now the question is, whose power do I want to steal here? Lunarian's power.
We're not surprised.
defended,
Just
alas.
disappointed in you.
Okay, lots of steel which we can sell, lots of glass which we can sell some of, and well, we've got our patent lab. Let's go and grab teleportation would be nice. So let's quickly grab nanotech, because I do want to scrap some of these farms at some point. The center one is fine. Nanotech is coming through. We do have a tile over here which could use a mine. Okay, so after nanotech, I'll want teleportation. Lunarian is flashing there at 50%. Sell down that water. Start buying up our stuff here, and we have one more claim. Slant drilling would be good for getting us access to water. Need silicon. Sell down some of that glass.
We caught a dirty rat trying to break
Turn that
out.
off. Wow, we're losing a lot of money off of the glass. And we got a mutiny back. This mutiny. This guy's power.
Your stock is being bought.
And we'll want to do some more defensive stock buying here.
Your stock is being bought.
Buy our last uncontrolled share. And with the one claim, let's see, what's the price of carbon at? Carbon and oxygen. I think switching these guys, well, into carbon dioxide condensers would actually be a good move. And we got nanotech, which means we can scrap all of these guys. And let's do that. And that gets us a whole bunch, that should get us a whole bunch of glass. Oh wait, did nanotech finish? Did someone beat us to nanotech? We were beaten to nanotech, alas. Alright, well let's grab teleportation. And then we'll put in dry ice condensers.
Freelance pirates are auctioning their services to the highest bidder.
7.
Pirates.
So,
Turn these guys back on, and looks like we're going to have to start slowing the Lunarian down. So making good money off of those reactors. Fair money off of power. Alright, let's ooh, so much money off of that carbon. So we'll freeze all of that down. Start buying into these guys.
Expansive colony expanded.
And we probably want to slow Johnny down a little. Silicon's worth quite a lot, as is water. We'll just get those parts out of the way really quickly.
Bandits.
And glass is barely making us money because of the price of oxygen. We want another condenser. Needs O2, sell down food, sell down water. Steel's still making us money. These guys are also making us good money. Okay, what do I want? What are the off-world prices like? 400. 500 for oxygen, that's not bad. How much money am I making off the condensers? Huge money, that's awesome. We could set up condensers here too, but we would probably crash out the price. We could get back into food, get rid of the glass. Oh, the price of glass is going back up versus the price of silicon in particular. Okay, what do I need that'll make me huge money here? Another condenser? A random condenser? Sure, let's drop another condenser then. Right over there. Although it is about nighttime and our efficiency there will go down. Pay off our debt. And then we'll have to buy this guy out just because he owns 30% of us, and that flashing percentage makes me feel a little uncomfortable. Yeah, we could definitely switch these guys over to chems. That makes really good sense. Especially since we're getting all the carbon in from the condensers.
New patent
Some good diversity.
auction. Bidding will begin at
7,000. 8,000.
Structural motion, I guess, is fine. I won't go past 8,000 though.
10,000. 14,000.
sold.
Alright, and now at some point I'll want to swap this guy out. We did get teleportation. Slant drilling would be good if we wanted to get into water. That's pretty much it. Carbon scrubbing might be okay. Let's grab virtual reality and then we'll swap that guy into a pleasure dome or an off-world. How much is an off-world going to cost me? Just a little electronics. But we really need to slow Johnny down. His farms are making huge money. He is scientific, so we're not going to get as much mileage out of that as we might otherwise like. Sell down some of that glass, some of that steel, but we will save some for our own off-worlds. Carbon's going up. Let's sell that down now. Sell down all the chemicals. Alright, do we want an off-world? I think we do. How much is that going to cost me? We'll wait until we have 200 steel naturally. And we could use a source of fuel. Fuel is getting pretty expensive, especially since we're using fuel at the chem labs. It's still running us a profit, but looks like we're going to have to convert some of these guys over to reactors.
The black market is online.
EMP's got double going, one goon squatted upon frozen. Dropping a dynamite on that would be good. Okay, let's scrap this and drop a pleasure dome. And then we'll scrap this guy and put in a off-world. Chemicals are still making us money. These guys are less profitable. Reasonable money's here. And we'll scrap that.
New land is available for auction. Bidding will begin at
A random plot in the middle of nowhere. If I can pick that up for 9,000, that's fine, but I don't really want it for much more.
sold.
Okay, random plot. That's fine. We have teleportation, so that's nice and cheap. And what's making more money here, the reactors or the dry ice condensers? It's the dry ice condensers, surprisingly.
The black market is online.
Okay, EMP, Johnny here. What's he making off of this? 58. And they're both goon squatted, so we really want to buy Johnny out, if possible. Let's see, how much resources do I have? I have almost enough just to do a control shift down. Let's sell all of that aluminum, at least until it hits the $1 mark. Sell down a bunch of this. Sell down water until it's near $1. Sell the iron until near $1. Likewise with the steel, all the chems, all this stuff. Buy up Johnny. So we've got his off-worlds, and then we're going to go and ship oxygen, which hopefully we can produce off of these guys and won't have to buy too much of that. This guy needs to be repaired, and we want to up our oxygen production since that is what we are shipping off-world, and it shouldn't buff both the reactors and the condensers. Now, unfortunately, we don't get Johnny's goon squads. I guess they're loyal to him and not to the tile. Sell down some more of this, or that. Good money off the electronics. That being said, let's buy up a goon squad. Buy up an uncontrolled share here. And then we're going to have to go for a Lunarian because we don't want to give him money by buying out Magistero.
Offworld
And that guy is not making us money anymore, so let's turn him off.
Look at all the money.
Okay, we're launching all manner of oxygen for good money. Good money here. Let's up our oxygen production again.
Offworld shipment.
Electronics, chemicals, steel, some aluminum, a bunch of the water. Alright, what target do we have to hit? We need another 20,000. We could get another Offworld going. The steel is not really making us money. We could swap that out for electronics. And what about these guys here? They are making us good money. Okay, well, let's see.
Offworld shipment
We can swap the pleasure dome.
Offworld shipment
No, we'll just stick with what Offworlds we have for the moment. Keep that off. Up our oxygen production again. May as well go max oxygen production since we are shipping that off-world, and it's worth a lot on-world too. Sell down these chemicals, electronics, glass, sure, steel, all of the iron, Lunarian, yoink. And now we've got 5 off-worlds, and it's just Magistero. Alright, so there are 5 shipments of oxygen. And it's Magistero could be making some money off of carbon. That's definitely true. We do have our own carbon income though, thanks to all these condensers. So I'm not too worried about being surprised there. Let's slow some of this down. All that fuel, electronics. Okay, so what's the buyout amount that we need to hit? 3,000. How much do we have in resources? Cash and resources, not quite, but definitely getting close. Chem labs we can turn off.
Offworld shipment launched. Look at all
And GG. Alright, so